A reputed poet who lived 150 years ago had written a few verses saying that the hardest task for man in the world is self-realization. Muruganar was very upset with this, and he said, "It should be the easiest. How can self-realization be the most difficult?" He began to write in Bhagavan's presence and wrote one sentence: "Self-knowledge is the easiest thing there is." However, he could go no further because he did not know how to put it convincingly. So he left the sheet of paper on Bhagavan's sofa and walked off. When he came back, Bhagavan had written the Atma Vidya Kirtanam, a few verses on self-knowledge, which describe Bhagavan's own direct experience and state, and how it is easy for every one of us to attain. In fact, Bhagavan wrote, "Lo, very easy is self-knowledge, very easy indeed. Even for the most infirm, so real is the self that compared with a gooseberry in one's hand is but a mere illusion." The thought, "I am the body," is the thread on which various thoughts are strung together. Diving within and inquiring, "Who am I and whence am I?" all other thoughts vanish, and as I, within the heart cave, the self shines of its own accord. Such self-awareness is the only heaven, stillness, and abode of bliss. If we examine Bhagavan's relationship with Muruganar, it will be found that self-realization is indeed the easiest to attain. For Muruganar, there was no God except Bhagavan, no path except self-inquiry, and no other purpose in life other than abiding in the self, in the silence. The crowning brilliance in his life was not just his books and his bringing out the truth from Bhagavan. It was the fact that he actually lived every word that he wrote. Impressed with his poetic skills, he was offered wealth and luxury by kings if he would only grace them in their courts. But he chose to be a beggar in the streets of Tiruvannamalai and to be in Bhagavan's shadow, only to live the truth. Muruganar lived the teaching every day, every hour, every minute. Since he was with Bhagavan all the time, he earned the nickname Shadow of Bhagavan. The relationship between Muruganar and Bhagavan is the practical demonstration of the Guru-Shishya, the relationship that is extolled in Hindu scriptures. All Hindu texts are written in question and answer format, with the disciple asking the question and the guru giving the answer, even on ethical issues. We will soon see how beautifully the guru-disciple relationship is brought out in the Hindu culture when we examine the rest of Muruganar's life. Muruganar communicated with Bhagavan all the time. Bhagavan was not a well-read person, whereas Muruganar had read Tamil literature extensively. Sometimes when Bhagavan was alone with him, he would ask Muruganar to give him the essence of a book. One day, Muruganar was in ecstasy and he started sharing with Bhagavan the essence of some great books. Many books were discussed on that day with Bhagavan, who was a good listener. Then he turned to Muruganar and said, "Ultimately, the essence of all these books is only one truth. There is just one destination, but the routes and roadmaps are all very different. There are various paths, scriptures, texts, descriptions, examples, and illustrations, but the sole essence is one single truth. Muruganar was so thrilled that he eagerly responded, saying, "Yes, Bhagavan, it is true. Now I feel that reading all those books was a waste of time." But Bhagavan hastened to correct him, saying, "You should not look at it that way. It is because we have read all these books that we have understood that their essence is one truth. Had we not read all these books, the mind would have kept tempting us with the thought that there is a new revelation in some other book. Therefore, reading also serves a purpose. It is the same for rituals and pujas. There are multifarious rituals and pujas, and the function of doing them all is to recognize that there exists one single, simple truth. The rituals and pujas themselves are not that important for self-realization. On another day, when Muruganar entered the hall, he saw in front of Bhagavan an array of garlanded books with puja that had been offered to them on the occasion of the Saraswati Puja. Muruganar prostrated before Bhagavan and gave a mischievous smile. Bhagavan just looked questioningly at Muruganar, as if to ask what he was smiling about. And Muruganar said, "Bhagavan, I am very amused that the very truth is seated here." And he gestured towards Bhagavan. "And these books are merely the chaff. People have worshipped the chaff instead of the essence." Being a poet, he then gave this example. "Bhagavan, imagine that the best of sugarcane was squeezed to get sugarcane juice, and that was crystallized to make sugar. A human figure was then made out of that sugar. You are that sugar, and these books are like sugarcane waste. Instead of paying respect to you, the sweet sugar, people are paying respect to the waste." Muruganar smiled, and so did Bhagavan.